Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the next video in the mock interview series with UiPath Aspirant. For the people who are looking this series for the first time, in this series I am taking mock interview for candidate based on their resume, their experience and their skill set. Please note that this is just a mock interview. It is not for any client, any customer or any of the job opportunities. The format of the mock interview is absolutely simple. The candidate send me the resume. I set up some time. I take the mock interview and all the confidential details such as the name, the company name, the project information, everything remains confidential with me. Even the name which you see in the mock interview is changed. So you do not have to worry about any of the details. Once I receive the interview, I hide the details, we take the interview. At the end, I guide the candidate that what are the topics he needs to improve upon, and I also provide the feedback on the interview so that they can perform well in their live interview. In terms of cost, the cost of the mock interview is absolutely free for you. You don't have to pay me anything. You just have to send me your resume and we can set up a common time and I conduct a mock interview for you. In case your experience match this mock interview, you can go ahead and watch. But in case you are coming from a different experience, you can go back to the playlist. There we have a couple of mock interviews which are already taken. You can watch them, get some insight, and hopefully that should be helpful in your next interview. If you want to appear for such a mock interview, all you have to do is just drop me an email on the email ID which is available in the description. Having said that, let's get started with today's mock interview. Okay, hi Vinith. I hope you are able to hear me.
Yeah, yes, Mukesh, I'm able to hear you.
Great. So, Vinith, I have received your resume for the mock. The format of the mock interview is absolutely simple. I would be asking question based on your resume and you have to answer me. At the end of the interview, I would tell you the answer to the questions whichever you have answered incorrectly and also the areas which you need to improve upon. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Mukesh.
Great. So let's get started by having a quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to introduce myself in it. I do have 2.9 years of IT experience where I work for a company and for two clients, for the client location US as well as the Canada. During my past 2+ years of experience, I have completed 8+ of automation projects, and my recent also automation project is HR generated offer letter. So all the 8+ automation projects I have completed by using the UiPath tool. So that's a brief about me.
Okay, so you have 2.5 years of experience and all experience is in RP UiPath only.
Yeah, yes, yes, Mukesh.
Okay. And how many projects you have done end to end?
Well, I have completed 3 projects end to end.
Mhm. Okay. And the last project which I see on your resume is this HR generate offer letter, right?
Yeah,
Can you
yes.
tell me more about this project? What is the problem statement? What is your automation doing?
Yeah, well, the problem statement for the HR generator offer letter is uh, you'll be like we will be having an Excel sheet that consists of a candidate details. So whoever has been hired for the process, the details which we had inside the Excel sheet that will be added into the PDF file and that will be reverted to the candidate email address. So basically, the manual process it took around 30 minutes for them. So we have automated this process by using UiPath tool. So we are able to automate this process by within 5 minutes actually.
Mhm.
So actually we have automated by using the dispatcher as well as the performer process. And if I come in depth into the automation, actually the Robert will be looking into the email address. So
Mhm.
once it find the email address, it will be looking for the attachment. So if it is having the attachment, it will be downloading the attachment and it will extract the data from the attachment.
Mhm.
Right after that, it will be filtering the data, and whatever the data it has been filtered will be added into the queues. From the queue items, it will be extracting the data as well as it will be moving each and every transaction to the process, and it will be following few business exceptions and a few process steps that has been provided from the client end. The later on it will be reverted back to the candidate email ID with the subject as well as the body of the email which has been provided from the client, followed by the PDF attached to it. This is the internal process. So the manual process, it took around 30 minutes, and we are able to automate this by using the UiPath within the 5 minutes. So which we developed by using dispatcher and performer model.
Okay, can you tell me which email you are using here?
I mean, which activity you are asking, or else?
Which email server basically? Is it Outlook?
Okay,
Is it
yeah,
Gmail?
okay,
What
okay.
exactly are you using?
Yeah, we are using the Outlook. We are using Outlook over here.
Okay. Now, let's say Monday you got 5 emails.
Okay,
Okay. Tuesday you got 5 emails, right?
okay, yeah,
Wednesday you got 5 emails, right?
okay, yeah,
And your dispatcher is not working. Sorry, your performer is not working. So
okay,
what happens? Monday the robot read the 5 emails. It added the data to the queue. Okay. Now,
okay,
since the performer was not working, the 100 items are in the queue. Okay.
okay,
Now again, what
okay,
happens when it comes to Tuesday? The robot again sees the same email and the new email as well, right?
okay.
So now again, what would happen? The robot will again add those 100 items to the queue, which in turn will have duplicate items in the queue, right?
Yeah, actually, in order to
Mm-hmm.
overcome this, while creating the queue, we
Mm-hmm.
had an option of selecting the unique reference items. So
Mm-hmm.
once we check it, and we have created the queue item, so that it will won't accept the duplicate items, since it will add only the original items instead of adding or duplicating the items.
Okay, and what is the unique reference for you in this process?
So, well, here we had a candidate ID for the unique reference as a unique reference.
Mm-hmm.
So, based on the candidate ID, it will be looking after it. If it is having any duplicates, it will be removing, and remaining data will be added into the queue.
Okay, so for adding the data into the queue, which activity are you using?
So, in my case, I am using the bulk add queue items.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we can add by using the add queue items as well as bulk add queue items.
Yeah, but bulk add queue item, if you are using, how would the unique reference work? Bulk add would directly add the data table, right? Complete data table at once.
Yeah, it will add, but inside what we say, sorry, we had in the properties option, we had an option of selecting the reference over there.
In
We
the
will
bulk add
be
also you
using
have,
the, oh, maybe only in the add queue items we will be having that. In the bulk add queue items, we don't have an option of doing that actually.
right? So then your queue is having duplicate items, right?
Uh, Yeah, actually, like I have told you an example, but yeah, if that is the case, we will be having the duplicate items. So in order to overcome, we can use the add queue item,
No,
and we
no,
can make
we
use of
can
the
do anything.
reference.
I absolutely understand, right? We can do anything. What you have done, this is a live process, right?
Yeah, yes, yes,
What
yes.
you have done, answer the question.
We have
Ah,
used the bulk add queue items over here actually.
so that means your queue is having duplicate.
Yeah.
So is that correct to have duplicates in the queue?
No, no, it's not correct actually. We could have used the add queue items, and we could have made it
Hmm.
overcome this.
Okay, so now when you go, okay, so you have added 100 items to the queue and it's there, right? Now
Yeah.
you are just processing the offer letters and generating the PDF files and sending the emails, right? Now let's say
Yes.
the candidate has given a wrong email ID.
Okay.
What
Okay.
happens to the process?
So actually, yeah, if the candidate is, it will be sent to the wrong email ID actually.
Yeah.
But if in some of the case, if it is not satisfying, like it is having any null values, or it is having the, what is it,
No, no, it's not
less
null. So
data.
let's say I'll give
No,
you an
yeah, yeah,
example,
yeah,
right? So the email
yeah.
ID was Mukesh Kala at the rate of gmail.com. Okay. But the candidate by mistake has put an extra space or let's say underscore, right? So when you send an email, the email is coming back to you. It's an invalid ID. So to be precise, right? It's an invalid ID. It says, let's say Mukesh underscore KALA at the rate of gmail.com, and which is not a valid email ID, right?
Yeah, yeah, it will be throwing a business exception stating that the following email address is having it
How?
is not set
What is the
properly.
what is the condition the robot is going to check to see whether the email is correct or not?
Okay. Basically, we'll be using the if condition over here, and we'll be
Hmm.
setting like uh,
If
inside the if condition, we will be writing the code in such a way that if it is satisfied this condition, it will be sending an email. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it will be
what is
throwing a
that
business.
condition? What is that condition? I understand we'll use an if, then we'll use a throw inside the true part, right? That I understand. What is there? What is I'm going to write in the if condition? That's the question.
Yeah. Like if it is I exactly don't remember exactly what condition we have used over
Hmm.
here, but
Hmm.
yeah.
So okay, so condition we need to write some condition, right? That if the mail is not going or going, right? Okay. Now I am your manager of this process, right? At the
Yeah,
end of the process, I want to know. So this is a weekly process. How the process is scheduled?
now it is scheduled weekly, and for a month it's 4 times. Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of the month, I want to know that how many offer letters were released. Okay.
Okay.
At
Okay.
the month end, I simply want to know how many offer letters were released from the robot.
Okay, actually,
Hmm.
we can set an email like how many offer letters has been released, and based on the count, we can make use of it.
Uh, but how would I know? So you want me to, so let's say I am getting every week 60 emails, right? So I cannot manually sit and count, right? That 60 emails have processed, right? So for me, if I am the HR manager, I would simply like to see a report that for the month of December, we have got 100 offer letters. Out of those, 90 were sent successfully, 10 got some exception, and let's say two or three were not successfully processed, right? How can I get a report?
Like in the orchestrator jobs, you will be having like how many are been successful and how many have been thrown an exceptions. So based
Okay.
on that, we
So do you
can
think
find out and
the
we can.
HR manager would have access to the orchestrator? The business people
Uh,
would have access to the orchestrator?
Basically, they will not have an access to that, but we have to set up in such a way that whatever the data which we get, we can send them through an email actually.
How would you set up? That's the question, right? What are you going to set up?
Yeah, actually, I did not come across this, but if I have to do it
Uh-huh.
again, I think we can set a robot based on the count. We can send an email like how many, whatever the count which we get, we can
Hmm.
send them the report in the form of email
Okay. So
actually.
let's say I gave you that robot. Okay. I'm telling you that you have to write that robot.
Okay, okay.
Okay. What exactly would be your logic? I don't want the code and activities. Just tell me the logic. What would be your logic to get that count?
Uh,
What code we you are going to write?
like dot count which gives the count of the emails what we have sent and all, so
But
based on
count
that
of what? So I cannot simply go and just go to UiPath studio and write dot count, right? I need to
yeah,
tell, right?
exactly.
Count what? What should I count?
Yeah.
Let's move to the performer, right? So once the automation is completed successfully in your performer, right? How
Yes.
does you know as a developer, or let's say the support team knows that the automation is completed?
Well, by looking into the log messages, we'll be finding like the automation has been completed inside the jobs. Um
Okay,
Based on
so
the log
that
messages. Yeah.
that means somebody has to manually log into the machine every time, see the log messages.
In the end process, we have set up the email like once the automation is completed, so
Mhm.
we'll be getting an email stating that this particular automation has been completed
Okay, and where is that code written in RE framework?
inside the end process.
Inside the end process. Okay, so you know RE framework, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, So let's say I got some exception in the init state.
Okay.
Okay, what happens to the process?
Well, whenever we get an exception in the init state, it will be moving into the end process.
Correct. Now,
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
end process, you have written a code to send that email.
Yeah.
Was your process successful if I get an
No.
exception?
No. No.
But
No.
still, that
Uh,
end process is sending that email, right?
so we will be writing a condition inside the end process, like
Hmm.
if it is successful, it will be sending an email. Otherwise, it will be moving directly into the end process, like it will be
What
close the
condition?
sessions.
How do you know whether all the items are completed and is successful? What is that condition? Okay. Let's move to the different question, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yes.
deployed it to the orchestrator, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Once it is completely done in the development, right? How do
Okay.
you make
Yeah.
sure that the package is deployed from development to production, right? So what are the steps you are taking in your company or in your firm to move the process from development to production?
So, right after completion of the development, we'll be moving into the development orchestrator. Then we'll be moving into the UAT. So once all the test cases has been satisfied, then
Mhm,
it will be moving towards the production. So
mhm.
from there, they'll be making use of the automation project.
Okay, so we are not going to do the UAT, we are not going to do the
Yeah,
testing, hypercare.
yeah, like once it moved to the
Hmm,
development environment, then after we will be next moving into the UAT. So they will be testing with the different test cases, and they will be looking after the all whether all log messages or different type of cases they'll be looking it. So once it
mhm.
is successful and okay, then they will be moving it into the production part actually.
Okay, have you heard of something which is called hypercare?
Yeah. Yes.
What is that?
Like right after production, they will be moving into the hypercare, and from there they will be moving into the production.
Hmm? Right after production, I'll move it to hypercare and then I'll move it to production.
Sorry, I mean after testing. It's
So
testing.
what happens in hypercare?
Um, they will be checking uh, the complete program and complete automation, and the or if they are okay with it, then they will be
That's a
moving into
UAT,
the
right?
product.
And that is the user acceptance testing, right?
User accepting. Yeah,
So
exactly.
what is
Yeah.
hypercare?
Uh,
So that whatever you told me, it's a user acceptance testing, right? They are going to check all the stuffs, right? So what is
yeah.
hypercare?
Like they will be checking complete process once again. So
Yeah, but that
like
they can
they
do
will
it
be
in UAT also,
monitoring
right?
the process. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But
Hmm.
what we say, like in order to make a few changes, like see that in terms of
Hmm.
development side, and when it moves to production, if they wanted to make few changes in terms of files and all, they will be doing that over in the hypercare, and they will be
But
moving it
they
to the
can do it in
production.
UAT also, right?
UAT also, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But
So why we have a different stage of hypercare? Okay, cool. So I'm done with my set of questions, right?
yeah,
Let's jump to your feedback. Okay. Before
yeah.
jumping to your feedback, what do you think, Vineet? How was your interview?
I mean, I was not sure between few of the answers, and I was not confident. And
Hmm.
I think I need to check the project session and if cues and all. Like I have to learn even more stronger.
Okay. So if it is a real-time interview, what do you think? I should have selected you or I should have rejected you?
Yeah, I think I will be rejected.
Now, let's come to your feedback, right? So starting with the project explanation, your project explanation is good, right? You have given me all the things which are required to explain the project, everything, right? Now we started our discussion, we went to unique reference, everything, and then you are changing your answer based on my questions, right? That should not happen. So what is
Okay.
happening is when I'm asking you questions, your answers are changing based on my question, right? Okay, we did this, we did this, we did that, right? So you should stick to your answers and you should know what has been done in the automation. When you say it's a live project, you should know how we are handling the duplicates, how we take care of the emails, how do we handle the exceptions, right? It's not like the interviewer is changing the question and you are saying that no, I will use unique reference, I'll use bulk add queue item, I'll use this, I'll use that, right? Uh,
Yeah.
for the reporter robot, you are telling me that I'll use the sent items and I'll count the sent items. That approach is also correct, but you don't know how do you read the sent items. It's the same activity, right? Get Outlook mail message, just read the sent items. The good way of
Yes.
doing that would be to read the queue, right? You have already all the data in the queue. So
Yes.
I can read the data from the queue, get all the queue items, print it in an Excel and send it as a report,
Okay. Yeah.
right? The next
Yeah.
one
Fine.
is I ask you a question on the hypercare, right? What exactly is a hypercare and the UAT, right? When you say that you have done two process end to end and you are not sure of the RPA lifecycle, does not make sense, right? Hypercare is the stage, okay, where the process would be run parallelly with the business user. So business user will do the process manually and the robot will also do the process via automation. And we are going to compare both the outputs for a certain period of time. Let's say if it is a daily process, we'll do it for 15, 20 days, 25 days. And once the robot and business are both producing same output for X number of days, we will turn off the manual and we'll switch to the robot. That is what hypercare is,
Okay.
right? So you need to work on these points. The other feedback is on your resume, right? I see that you have used a UiPath logo on your resume, which is very, very old. I don't know if you have copied it from some old developer or not, but the logos which you are using is old of UiPath. You have not written UiPath correctly, right? UiPath is a single word. It's U capital, I small, then P capital, and UiPath, right? You can see it everywhere in your studio, in the academy, Google, everywhere, right? And then when you say that you are a UiPath developer and you don't know how do you write UiPath, does not make sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And more
Yeah.
importantly, if I am, let's say, a recruiter and I am searching your resume for the keywords, your resume will never be picked up because the spelling itself is wrong, right? You have put a UI and then a space and then a path, right? So your CV will be never be picked up for an UiPath developer if somebody is just searching for the keywords, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the feedback. I think you need to work upon the projects, CV, and all these stuffs, right? So yeah, that's it. Over to you. Have any questions now?
Uh, uh, yeah, I think I have to work more on the queues as well as
Yeah.
especially the Outlook
The
related things.
idea is
And
simple, right? When you say that I have done this project, you should know each and every bit of the project. Each and every
yeah.
bit, right? Each and every step, what could be the failures, everything you should know, right? So then only
Yes.
you can say that, yes, I have done this project end to end. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well.
So if no more question, how was your feedback? Was it helpful?
Yeah, it's Mukesh. Thank you. Actually, thank you for accepting the request, and it really helpful. Now I'm able to get like which are the topics I'm lagging in.
Hmm.
So I think I need to work on it actually.
Okay, great. Thank you, Vineet, for joining and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Mukesh. Have a good
Bye.
day. Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Okay, so that is all for this video. I would like to wrap this video here. I hope this was insightful. If you have any more questions, any more doubts, feel free to write me in the comments or you can also drop me an email as well. I would appreciate your feedback on the video and tell me in the comments what would be the next topic or next video you want to see. So with that, I would wrap this video here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel and happy automation.